And we're live. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Four Quarters. All sports, every day, all day. And she's a babe. I really got to stop talking about Aaron Rodgers.
My money's on that.
And to no surprise, my shout out, Caitlin Clark.
And we're live.
And we're live.
Oh boy, guys.
We're a little off our game for a Friday because it is a Friday. I just got a message asking if we were delayed. Yes, we were delayed because we were chatty patties.
Yeah.
Welcome in. Happy Friday. We've all made it through another week. Thanks for tuning in on our Four Quarters Facebook page, 802 Scoops, and we are on YouTube as well. CB and I, Wheels is on the road, I believe. I don't know if it's a home game for Otter Valley, but she is watching Addie as I think they shifted a game from Saturday to Friday. Some local games going on tomorrow have shifted from 11 to 10, and we'll talk about that in a little bit because it's prom day. CB, would you have had to have your softball game an hour earlier to get ready for the prom?
I didn't have a prom because
Okay, then that makes it easy.
My good old Catholic high school canceled prom.
Okay.
It was huge. It was huge. We made the Colbert Report. Like, people were making fun.
Really?
Yeah, we made the Colbert Report. That's how big of a story it was.
Oh my God.
It was because they sent a letter out to, I think I was a sophomore when this happened. I was a sophomore or junior when this happened. And so what would happen is that people would go rent houses in the Hamptons.
Sure. Oh, in the Hamptons. I forget where you were.
Drink some alcohol.
Yep.
Have some fun times.
Yep.
And so my high school sent out a letter saying that they're not going to support underage drinking and orgies, and literally said that. And so they canceled prom, and people were just spending stupid amount of money on prom dresses, and it was just too much.
Yep.
That was a thing.
I just laughed when I was like, oh, so the game's at 11 a.m. and so it might be at 10 because, so-and-so has their prom. And I'm like, well, I went to the prom, and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think the softball game would have taken precedence. So I would have been you can leave it at 11.
Same.
I still got time.
Yeah.
There was one year that I couldn't leave until I was sure the New York Islanders had won the Stanley Cup. Because it literally
Joe's like, what a way to say it. Hello. Joe, it's Friday. We're going off the rails today.
And we got to come up with a jar for a CB's money bin. Okay, we've got the money.
Yep.
If I do this, I'm going to make a mess. So we did have a few F-bombs, but we were not on the air yet.
Yeah, it's going to, yeah.
I hear you have a Wheels shout out. I mean, I don't have one.
Yeah, so,
fair enough that it's the tip-off.
Yep. Okay.
It's tip-off night.
Season starts today, so I'll give her this one. But even if Wheels isn't here, she still got a Caitlin Clark shout out.
Yep.
And so she has this article. Caitlin Clark can add another achievement to her belt. In April, Fanatics revealed that Clark's number 22 Indiana Fever jersey sold more units than every other NBA player except for one, Steph Curry.
Oh, Steph Curry.
Yep. So
we'll give her a ding, 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 and a big shout out, Wheels.
Yep, absolutely.
And ESPN and they were doing their predictions, and we're going to talk about predictions in the W. Mm-hmm. And heavy favorites, they had the Liberty.
Yep.
With the Fever and Aces right behind, and then the Lynx. That's the first time I've seen that. Mm-hmm. So I did print out an article on, I think it was CBS or ESPN, with their predictions as well. And we'll get into that in the second half.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about it. I kind of understand why the Lynx, but the Aces, they're not deep.
Nope.
They're not deep. So
I said this last year, and it hasn't changed.
Yep.
It hasn't changed.
I have no,
Yep, it hasn't changed.
I have no expectations.
I'm going to let you do the shout out for the, I'm just going to let you go. I'm going to shut up and let you run with it.
So shout out to Karen for letting me know. But so we all love dogs. We talk about our dogs all the time.
All the time.
And
We love dogs.
And I've had a couple of shout outs to my guinea pigs, who I love having guinea pigs. I had guinea pigs for over 10 years.
You did.
They're so cute and they're very social. And there's a whole bunch of guinea pigs up for adoption at Central Vermont Humane Society. Mostly boys, but there's a couple of girls in there. And they're all under a year old pretty much, so they're young. They live about 3 to 5 years, but I've had a guinea pig live over 8 years. So, and when I adopted him, he was already an adult, so he could have been older. So they can live a long time, but and they're so cute. Look at these little potatoes.
Is that Kane and Cole that you're putting up?
This was just one of the black and white ones. But
yeah, Kane and Cole, I think.
Kane is a little tan one, and Cole's a little dark brown and white. They're bonded. So guinea pigs are social animals, but they're also prey animals. So they do better in pairs.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep. So if you're going to adopt guinea pigs, get them in pairs. And they also need big crates, especially boys. If you're getting 2 boys, I think I had 2.5 feet by 5.5 feet cage for them. Because they can get
That's good size.
Because they can get into fights, you need to let them have their own spaces, and they should have 2 water bottles and 2 feeding dishes, and 2 hay dishes.
They really duke it out?
No, they can fight.
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure. It's really hard bonding. It can be hard bonding boys, especially if one's older, one's younger, and the younger just wants to be a little shit. So you have to kind of feel out the personalities, because some are more submissive, some are more dominant. Easier to bond girls, obviously, but they're social. But you have to kind of, because they're prey animals, you can't just go in and grab them, because they think that they're going to be eaten. So you really just
you gotta be gentle.
Yeah, so you have to kind of go under them, hold them, but they require a lot. They get fresh veggies, they get hay, they get their pellets. They need to be cleaned, deep cleaned once a week, and then cleaned a little bit every day. Fresh water every day. You need to make sure that they're getting vitamin C. They should have a vet. Shout out to Bev's up in Williston, because they finally have an exotic pet vet.
Nice.
Which you need for small animals. I brought my guinea pigs to him, and he's amazing. He's great.
Good shout out to Bev's too, by the way. Nicely done. This is much better.
They're just great. They're just great pets. They're so cute and they're so lovable. So if you have the room, if you're interested, you can even if you send us a message, I can talk you through it if you're new to guinea pigs. But just give them a shot. They're great. Joe says, sounds like my brothers. That's amazing.
Oh my God.
Go give the little guys a chance. They're great. Don't buy them from Petco. Adopt them.
Good one.
Yep.
Any more shouts on your end, other than you have a kick-ass shirt on today? I really like that.
Thanks. People think it's like a Hawaiian shirt, but
a little Hawaiian, but I like it. That's good color scheme.
Thank you.
Good color for you. Any more on that side of the room?
I probably had some.
But it'll come as we keep going.
I just need sugar.
All right. So, CB comes right from work. I get to have at least an hour downtime before I come in here. We're gonna do some little bit of high school talk, but I'm gonna throw a question out to the listeners, because I was sent this one and I love it, and I have put a lot of thought into it, and I even asked the softball team that I hang out with in the women's league on Wednesday night. So it's a fun question, and I want people to let it marinate and think about it. I think at the game on Wednesday, they were just throwing names out quickly at me. So here's the question. It is the bottom of the ninth, okay? 2 outs, Game 7 of the World Series. Your team is up by 1. Ricky Henderson is on second. And Tony Gwynn lines a single to right field. So let's just take the fastest guy and one of the sweetest hitters of the game. You have your choice of any right fielder of any era
To throw out?
to try and nab Henderson at home.
Ooh.
Who gets the call? Bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, game 7 of the World Series. Henderson on second, Gwynn up to bat, lines it to right. So you got a good shot. It wasn't a dribbler. It didn't bloop into right. It's a line shot to right field. Lines it. Any right fielder in the history of MLB, who do you pick to nab Henderson at home plate? And I really hope Bob Rathburn's listening. I'm not sure if he is. Gentleman, my friend that gave me the Gary card, a big baseball fan, because I can't wait to hear his answer. And if not, I hope to run into him soon. I will tell you this. At the game Wednesday, I posed the question, and of course, everyone's going to think of now.
Yeah.
So I got to Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
I mean, those were screamed at me. Aaron Judge!
Yep.
I can't remember Ken Griffey Jr., but I'm like not a right fielder.
Yep.
That I could remember, center fielder.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I want to make sure I was not giving false information. The first name that came to mind for me, and this is going to show my age, but I don't back down from it, is Dwight Evans, the right fielder for the Red Sox. Dewey was probably one of the best defensive right fielders I have ever watched play.
Yeah.
So Dwight Evans was my first choice.
Joe said Dwight Evans.
See? So you can tell we're the same age. We're in the same ballpark. You can just so tell. I'm with you, Joe. Dwight Evans was the first one that came to mind, and we'll hit back up on it at the end of the show. I did compile a list of the top 12 right fielders. A lot of it hits on their batting average, their power numbers.
Yeah.
So we'll go over that at the end of the show. And one player stuck out for me that I will put on the same plateau as Dwight Evans, but we'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Okay.
Are you going to give me Aaron Judge, though?
No. That was my first thought, just because of recency bias.
Yep.
And he's got a rocket of an arm.
He does.
But
I mean, he can put that tall body right behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The other thing I'm going to have CB put up right now, another fun thing sent in, is, what do I call this? What do I call it? You can only spend $15 to build a lineup. You can only spend 15 people. Some people have tried to cheat doing this. $15. Karen Safford cheated by starting out by telling me, I have Jerry Rice and Tom Brady on the same team. And I'm like, how the hell did you do that? There's $10.
Yeah.
And she misunderstood the game. So as you're looking at build a lineup, I'm just going to tell you my lineup. This was so much fun. And as you're looking at this, how many players are there? 5, 10, 15, 25 players. Figure out what one player should not even be on this chart.
I noticed him right away.
CB got it right off the bat.
Right away.
Okay, so building my lineup. I'm not sure, CB, did you do one?
I did one.
Okay, I'm going to go first with my lineup of Peyton Manning. Walter Payton is my running back. My 2 receivers are Kelvin Johnson and Randy Moss. And at that point, I had $1 left. And if you look at those tight ends, as fabulous as they all are Hall of Famers, I have no problem taking Jason Witten for $1.
Yep.
No problem at all. What say you, my friend?
So I kind of went hard on my receivers. My QB was Dan Marino. For $1.
Not bad.
I was like, $1 for Dan Marino?
Yeah.
I'll fucking take it.
Oh, exactly.
That's $2.
Oh yeah. Okay. Wait. I got to start putting the dollars aside. All right.
For my running back, I also chose Walter Payton.
Nice. Sweetness.
He's. Oh, was that another one? Shit.
Did you just swear again? I'm
yes,
missing it.
I did.
Jeez,
I halved it, but it still counts. My 2 wide receivers, I went Randy Moss and Larry Fitzgerald.
Nice.
And then my tight end was Shannon Sharp.
Nice. I like it. And you were smart. And I went in the middle with the quarterbacks because really, can you go wrong? I really wanted to build around Joe Montana, though.
Yep.
But then I'm like, I'll take Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Dan Marino for $1. Is he $1 because he just didn't win a championship?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand. I was like,
it's got to be.
And a fast slinger like him with the two wide receiver, I was like, no brainer.
Right. I'm like, okay, Super Bowl, many Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And I did want to go Tom Brady. Of course, who doesn't want to?
Yeah.
But I'm okay with Peyton Manning and his couple of Super Bowls. But yeah, Dan Marino kicks down to $1 because he did not win a Super Bowl.
And that's just stupid.
Awful.
That's
absolutely awful. I liked, and with the running backs, can you go wrong with any of them?
No.
Love Barry Sanders.
No,
but Walter Payton, Sweetness is the name, his nickname, and it was so deserving.
Yep.
But write down Emmitt Smith for $2. Mm-hmm. I wanted to go Jerry Rice, but I am good with Calvin Johnson and who did I say? I went with Randy Moss.
Yep. Yeah, we both took Randy Moss.
And Calvin Johnson probably could have easily gone down as one of the best wide receivers in the history of the NFL. Mm-hmm. He stepped aside young, and he spent his whole career with the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
But they were really bad. They were really bad during his time. And that breaks my heart because even when he retired, I've always liked the Detroit Lions, but there was this part of me that wished he had gotten traded to another team just to get that Super Bowl chance.
Yep.
I mean, the dude was a stud. And I really think that's why Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders both stepped down a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
They were true to their team. They were true to their organization, the Detroit Lions. But it was just a time when they weren't good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Barry Sanders couldn't do it on his own.
It's a brutal game. It's a long season.
Yep.
Do you want to go through that and knowing that you're not going to win?
Yep, exactly. So I don't blame them. They had no defense. They had no quarterback at the time. But it's a fun thing to play, build a lineup. So take a picture of it, look at it, send us a team if you come up with one. But you got to stay within $15. You can't go $5 all the way down, Karen Safford. You just can't do it, okay? Jerry Rice and Tom Brady. Yeah, okay. We're going to look at some high school sports. We did Spotlight last week. I think it was U32 lacrosse and Montpelier baseball, which podcast jinx to poor Montpelier.
Oh, no.
5-0, 6-2 now.
Oh, no.
I'm like, God damn podcast jinx, and I want to spotlight high school sports. It's so important, but I don't want to jinx high school sports at the same time. Boys Ultimate. Montpelier is sitting at 5-1. God, don't jinx them, Lori. Where they beat the Burlington Seahorses, a program that has been to 4 championship appearances in the last 5 years. They beat them 15-3.
Damn.
And that improves Montpelier boys ultimate team to 5-1 on this season. At 5-1, though, they sit in that's the 5th seed right now.
At 5-1?
Yep, Brattleboro, Milton, CVU, and St. Johnsbury all undefeated.
Damn.
A lot of spring sports left to go, though. We're going to look at local baseball. The U32 boys baseball team yesterday coming away with a 6-4 win over Harwood improves the Raiders to 6-2 on the season. Carlo Concessi with a double and an RBI. Jack Scribner pitched 4 innings. Concessi pitched the final 3 innings. So Carlo pitches the final 3 innings, goes 2 for 3 on the day as well.
Nice.
To improve Raider baseball to 6-2 on this season. Flip side down the road, Spalding baseball comes away with a 21-5 victory over Hazen. 3rd win in a row for the Crimson Tide. Improves their record to 5-6 on this season. Winning pitcher was Joey Hayes Garcia, gave up just 5 hits and 2 earned runs. And I love the quote from Coach Kinnery. He threw strikes, pitched to contact, and allowed our defense to make plays. That's a great quote.
Yeah.
Pitched to contact, allowing our defense to make plays. So Crimson Tide baseball winners of 3 in a row, improves to 5 and 6. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., the Crimson Tide will take a little trip up to U32. First pitch again at 10 a.m. U32 softball, a 24-5 win over Harwood Union.
Damn.
To improve to 7 and 3 on
Nice.
this season. Winning pitcher freshman Megan Pitsley
Solid.
also went 4 for 6 at the
Holy
plate.
shit.
A double-A home run and 5 RBIs
Jesus Christ.
for the freshman.
That's amazing.
So get your tails up to U32, 10 a.m. first pitch in baseball against Spalding, first pitch in softball at 10 a.m. hosting Spalding. It's Rivalry Saturday tomorrow at 10 a.m. It doesn't get any better than that, CB. It really doesn't. I love it. I love it. And Megan Pitsley, I'm going to give you a huge shout out because I got to first row seat watch you play varsity basketball as a freshman. This kid can flip and shoot.
Nice.
Lights out as just a freshman. So we will be saying her name a lot in the next 3 years. I don't think I had any more high school. I got so many notes here. I think that was our spotlight. We were looking at the rivalry between Spalding and U32. So get up to U32. I will be there. Yes, I can actually get out of bed and function on a Saturday morning. I will probably sneak a peek. The cool thing is when you're at the softball field at U32, you literally have to just turn around and you're watching the baseball game.
Oh, solid.
So it's going to be a fun morning. Get out and support the local rivalry. Next on the agenda, CB, shall we talk about Pete Rose?
Yes.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yep.
Anybody else that we want to talk about? But I'm really going to focus on those two. I hear Pete Rose's daughter sat down with the commish.
Oh,
I hear
really?
She had a lot to do with it. I also heard President Trump had a little bit to do with it. I don't know if that's true or not. What's your feeling? It's a lifetime ban, and the poor man has passed.
Yep.
He can't get voted in for a couple more years, though.
Okay.
2027. It's the historical committee is what it's made up of, and I believe I wrote it down here somewhere. It's a 16-person committee of former players.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's writers in there as well, because the writers have a lot to do with the Hall of Fame as well.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if this historical committee is made up of all former players. I get why they have it. I look at a Steve Garvey. I'm going to go back to my time again. Steve Garvey, Louis Tiant. Those two names jump out as two people that are not in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Because and sometimes it's tough. Sometimes all these eligible players at the same time, it's
Right. Someone. Yep.
But Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, those are different reasons here.
Yes.
Pete Rose admitted to gambling, betting on his team as a manager, not a player, betting on his team
To win.
to win.
To win.
To win is big, but still he gambled
Yep.
on his team to win. Shoeless Joe Jackson, though, he pretty much helped throw a game in the World Series.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. Yeah, it's all
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. It's all in what
Yeah.
you want to believe.
Because I could see it both ways, because the players who were really involved, who admitted that they were involved, I don't think that they said that he was. Didn't they say that he wasn't involved? But then when you look at his stats,
Right.
The games that they won versus the games that they lost, his batting average was very different.
So batting like 330 and
And-
then 174.
And then he also gave up more triples than would be expected,
Okay.
being in the outfield.
So the case could be made.
Yes, either way.
Yep. For a person who watched Pete Rose, even went up to Montreal to watch the Reds play, I would have a hard time not voting for Pete Rose.
Exactly. For me, he's always been a Hall of Famer.
Right.
He's always been a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
There's in no timeline is he not a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
So I'm sad that it couldn't be done while he was alive
Right.
to see it.
Right.
Because he's just such an icon
Yep.
of baseball. And you just don't find players like him anymore.
Exactly.
So it's sad. I'm happy that it's finally happening because it's well deserved. Sad it didn't happen when he was still
When he was alive.
Joe says, yes, he was gambling, but look at Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire. They did drugs.
Well, that's the other thing you can bring up is
Right.
the steroid.
Yeah.
You're cheating the game
Yep.
with the steroids.
Yep.
And we could say the same thing about gambling, but I do not believe anybody in the steroid era should be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
I mean, that's my personal feeling.
Yep.
That's your personal feeling. But 4,256 hits and a lifetime batting average of 303.
Yeah, it's just unheard of.
And in all honesty, and I mean this with every ounce of my being, he is the guy that made famous the head first slide.
Yes.
I mean, the dude got air.
Yeah.
He would get up. So it led me to try it. I was in grade school.
Oh, okay.
I didn't make it to second base because I went
Just belly
poof.
flopped?
Oh yeah, belly flop. I'm like, I got this, poof. And I'm like, how did he do that? And I never tried it again
Yeah, valid.
because, the older I got, then I'm not going to do it in high school and
No.
really embarrass myself.
Yeah.
But that dude could freaking play.
Yeah.
I mean, they call him, we talk about nicknames, Charlie Hustle.
Yeah.
He was an outstanding player.
Amazing.
Gambling, nowhere for it in sports.
Yeah, but it wasn't like he was gambling for them to lose and then throwing
Right.
games, right?
Right.
He always bet on them to win.
Right.
And yes, gambling back then, and it's hard because gambling now is legal. Yes, you still can't
Right, you
gamble
still
like
can't yeah.
on your games, but
Which is happening a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of football players in the last 2 years that have been caught.
because they're also gambling on the grounds and they can't gamble
Right.
in the stadium.
Right. Right. Good
Right.
point.
That's another
great
thing.
point. That's a great
Joe
point.
Edson says it doesn't always work.
What doesn't always work?
There's a little bit of a delay, Joe.
We'll get it, Joe. We'll
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
We'll get it. I mean, it's a touchy subject, but I hope I'm around to see Pete Rose elected because, again,
Yeah.
this can't happen until 2027 based on this historical committee. And there's still other players that you still want to see get in.
Yeah.
I got to do some more digging to, Steve Garvey and Louis Tiant came to mind first, but there's more players out there.
Yeah.
But a Pete Rose would be at the top of a list.
Oh, absolutely.
He really would be. So.
Oh, yeah.
And I also heard a story that, and I don't know to what extent he would show up at Cooperstown. I don't know if it was Holland.
Oh, he says head first sliding.
Oh, head first sliding. Got it. I think it was Hall of Fame weekend in Cooperstown.
Yeah.
And I heard the story that he would just set up his table.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
And he would just hang out. And of course, who doesn't want Pete Rose's autograph?
Right.
He'd make a few bucks here and there. But he was always around it and part of it, even though he
Yeah.
couldn't be
in.
inducted
Yeah.
into the Hall of Fame. So big news. That to me
Yeah.
was some of the biggest news
I feel like
of this
it came
week.
out of nowhere.
Right?
All of a sudden, like I got a notification and it was like Pete Rose taken off the ban list or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
And
What's going on?
I'd have to find out when his daughter did sit down with Commissioner Manfred, and they had a meeting, and all I heard was that she must have had some valid points because it did hit home
Yeah. Good for her.
with the commish. So good for her for going to bat for her dad,
Yeah.
who was a hell of a player. So that to me was big news this week. The other one, big news for me was Jason Tatum rupturing his Achilles.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, rupturing and surgery the next day.
That's another $2. I just cursed again.
The next day,
Yeah.
surgery.
Yeah. Devastating. Devastating.
But are the Celtics done?
They're
It's
They
game
play
6
tonight.
tonight.
They play tonight.
Game 6 tonight.
They play tonight. They looked good on Wednesday. Did they play Wednesday?
Yeah, Jaylen Brown. You
yeah.
still got superstars
Yeah.
on that team. There's
Yeah.
a reason you win a championship.
Yep.
Yes, you have your main superstar, but Brown and Derek White stepped up.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yes. Yes.
Porzingis needs to step up as well. But the Knicks, you better win at home, because if you go back to Boston for Game 7,
it's done.
It's done.
Yep. Yep.
But seeing Jason Tatum go down, I digress, broke my heart.
Yeah, me too.
I don't really have a favorite in the NBA.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of the NBA. I will at playoff time,
Right.
just like the NHL.
Just want good games.
But you knew as soon as he grabbed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when I watch somebody tear their ACL, you know right away. With the Achilles, there's no heads up. Like, you just see the knee go funky.
Yeah.
But it was when he grabbed it.
Yep.
And even when they were wheeling him out in the wheelchair, because Jason Tatum, he would have gotten up if it wasn't,
yeah.
you know. And he just looked devastated.
He knew.
So I asked you, ruptured Achilles, surgery the next day. What is your insight? Does he play next season? And I asked a few therapists today, because when does the NBA season start? It's got to be around October-ish, November.
Yeah, October.
October, November-ish.
Yeah.
He's a professional athlete that I know is getting the best care in the world.
It's basketball.
That's why
It's basketball, though.
I'm throwing a chest pass your way.
It's not like it's an Aaron Rodgers where he just has to kind of be able to run around. Like, you need to be dynamic. You need to be using that calf muscle to get up, right?
Sure.
And you have to be able to trust it.
Yep.
Right? Because if you don't trust it, then what's the point?
Yeah. Is there a normal timeline given? Like with ACLs, they say.
Right. Like a year.
Yeah, 9 to 12 months. Is that what you're saying with Achilles as well?
Probably. The PTs would know better. But it's a strong tendon, right? It is a very strong tendon. They do have new surgical procedures. They got him in surgery right away. But it'll just be interesting to see how he comes back.
It's basketball.
Yeah. If it
First
was a
and
different,
foremost, it's basketball.
If it was a different sport, it'd be one thing, but basketball. Joe says no, I guess Celtics, he says no, winning by 14. I'm guessing he's just talking about the Celtics.
The Celtics winning tonight?
That's what he says, I think by 14.
I'm telling you, sometimes when your captain goes down like that, you rally. And again,
next man out.
They're the defending champs.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know,
they don't have other...
They're not a 500 team that's
Right.
built around this one player,
Right.
and you have a few good moving parts. It's the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
So, and all I can say to the Knicks is, you better do it at home tonight.
Yes.
That's all I can say.
You said it was going to go to a game 7.
Said it's going 7.
But you know who didn't go to 7? The Pacers and the Cavs.
What happened?
Yo, I don't know. They
64 wins this season.
Yep.
And that was my team I was digressing towards. I'm a big Donovan Mitchell fan. I like teams that build through a draft.
Right.
They go and get a veteran or two, but they build through the draft, and that is definitely what Cleveland did.
Yes.
They were blowing teams away all season.
Yeah.
Not all teams, but they were winning. 64 games doesn't just happen.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, all these little nagging injuries start happening in game 2.
Oh, yeah.
Donovan Mitchell hurts his ankle,
And
plays through it.
He played like shit. I think he didn't hit a 3 until the fourth quarter.
So the ankle was bothering him.
Yep.
That one breaks my heart.
Would you rather him play like crap or have him sit?
That's so hard.
Yeah.
Because then he goes out there and plays the way he plays.
Yep.
But in your head, you're like, no, pull a Willis Reed, and as long as you're on the floor, your teammates are going to rally around you. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
I would say it's up to him and the trainers, but if you think you can play, it would be sparing minutes that I would put him out there. But I'd want my leader out there.
Yeah.
But that's tough, man. I was all in.
He was
Cleveland.
And
they were my team.
They were missing so many free throws, it wasn't even funny.
It's a free throw.
It's a free throw. You are in
a free throw and you're in the NBA.
You're in the NBA. Joe says, watch out for Edwards from Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, are we talking Ant-Man? Minnesota?
Or a different Edwards from Milwaukee.
Edwards on the side. I'm thinking Ant-Man because he's the one that's getting my big shout out.
Oh, yes.
Because, yes, Steph Curry is down for Golden State, but you still got to go beat Golden State, which, again, you got Jimmy Butler, you got Draymond Green, and I'm sorry, but Ant-Man and the Wolves made Golden State look like chumps.
Love Ant-Man.
I do, and it's good to see. Shout out to Leslie Peck, who is a Cleveland Cav fan.
Oh, he says yes. He's talking
But
about Ant-Man.
also is from Minnesota. So she goes, I can't cheer for Cleveland, I'll cheer for Minnesota.
Hey.
I will say this, though. We got to give props to the Indiana Pacers.
Yes.
We do.
Honestly,
Under the radar.
Halliburton's playing his...
Halliburton's stud.
Yeah. He's
Stud.
playing out of his mind.
Stud. He's
Hitting
a stud.
shots, getting the assists. He's playing his defense. He's playing out of his mind.
Sacramento Kings traded him 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah.
I really, truly don't know what they were thinking. And I went, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And Indiana's a solid ball club. It's just, they don't fly under the radar, but they're not flashy. So
Right.
people don't talk about them.
But they have the basic, they play well together.
Yeah, we talk about the Sixers because of Embiid. We talk about the Bucks because of Giannis, who is now maybe leaving Milwaukee. I don't know what's going on with him, but that's for another show. But they fly under the radar.
Yep.
But they play good defense.
Yeah.
They're well coached.
Yeah.
Halliburton is the quarterback of that
He's
team,
a
and
true
that's
point
a
guard.
good.
He's a true point guard.
He is a true point guard. He quarterbacks that team so well. I still am shocked. How does Cleveland go 0-3 at home?
Yes, the fact that it was 3 games at home was insane.
What the F?
You could see the fans in that last game when they started
Shell
to
shock,
realize,
too?
yeah, when they started to realize, oh no,
I'm not taking anything away from the Pacers.
right?
But 4-1, and you're 0-3, and you're the number 1 seed with 64 wins.
Yeah.
Not taking anything away from Indiana.
Right.
Shame on you, Cavs.
Yes, absolutely.
Shame on you. Donovan Mitchell did say that it's a good learning curve. They are a fairly young team other than him. ESPN has their own, not a conspiracy theory, but it's the Donovan Mitchell theory of he can't win big in the playoffs. I don't remember this, but when he was playing for the Jazz, they lost. They were a high seed and lost as well with him at the helm. I don't believe in that theory whatsoever, but I am a big Donovan Mitchell fan.
Yep.
The Knicks are fun to watch. We
Yes.
talked about them last week. But again, they better win at home.
Oh yeah.
They better win at home tonight
Otherwise,
because if
it
not,
goes to a game 7, it's
I think Jalen Brunson is playing some of his best ball. I think he's had an outstanding season. Mikal Bridges is solid in the fourth quarter. And Karl Anthony Towns, Cat, when that trade happened, Julius Randle leaves and goes to Minnesota. And Karl Anthony Towns leaves and goes to the Knicks. Well, you know what? It worked out for both teams.
Yeah.
Because Julius Randle is being the sidekick to Ant-Man that he needs.
Yeah.
And I just think it's funny in the Western Conference that we're looking at the 2 seed was Houston, the 3 seed was the LA Lakers.
Yep.
And Golden State and Minnesota took care of both those teams.
Yep.
And to me, when I look at the West, I am a huge fan of OKC's Thunder.
Yes.
And they, like Cleveland, has taken care of business most of the season and been tied to that number 1 seed. But when the playoffs came out, when the season ended and it was playoff time, I cringed for OKC when I said, you've got to be kidding me. Denver is the 4 seed.
that's
Houston and the Lakers are 2-3, and they're 2 years removed from a championship,
Yeah.
and they still got Jokic and company, Aaron Gordon, Murray. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. It's turning into a dogfight.
Oh yeah, I love it.
With Denver winning last night at home, which I knew they were going to
Yeah.
win on their home court.
Yep.
I'm sorry, OKC.
Yeah.
I'm picking Denver to win Game 7 at OKC. I would love to see OKC move on. I would love it.
Yeah.
But you got a bad draw.
Yeah.
And when I say bad draw, Denver falling to that 4 seed.
Wild.
Yeah. And you fire your coach
Oh yes.
with a week left in the
Right.
regular
and we
season.
still don't know what
who
happened.
won a championship
Yeah.
for you 2 years
and
ago.
we still don't know what the hell
I'm
is
just
going on.
flabbergasted,
Yep.
but you watch Denver, and that's a tough team.
Yeah.
And whoever does, I don't think Minnesota matches up with Denver well.
No.
I think OKC and Minnesota would be fun. 2 really young teams flying up and down that court. But I think Minnesota would rather play the number 1 seed.
Oh yeah.
They match up well with them.
Yes.
I just look at Denver and go, I think I'm leaning with the side of experience and championship caliber.
That makes sense.
As opposed to the young team.
Yeah.
that has so many amazing players on that team.
But
experience.
Exactly. It makes a big difference in the playoffs.
Yep.
It makes a huge difference in the playoffs.
If I sit here next week and say, hey, great job, OKC, I'll be psyched for them. But, man, experience.
When is that game? Tomorrow?
The Knicks, Boston is tonight and Game 7 is tomorrow. Yeah,
right?
So Minnesota's resting up and the Pacers are resting up.
But sometimes you don't want to.
No.
Sometimes you don't
you're
want
ready
that.
to roll.
If you're them, you want to go.
And the same with Minnesota. They've been on a roll.
Yeah.
I mean, you knocked out the Lakers.
Right.
And, yeah, you got a Steph Curry less Golden State team, but you still got to go out there and win.
Right.
That's why they traded for Jimmy Butler. Who, in your mind right now, can you see winning a championship?
Oh, my gosh.
There's a lot of, I don't want to podcast jinx anybody, but right now, the way they're playing, I see Denver winning this year.
I knew you were going there.
I do, and I hope OKC wins tomorrow night. I really do.
Yep.
So if OKC comes out of that Game 7, then we'll have a different conversation next week. And it'll be fun because then you're looking at Minnesota and OKC.
Yeah. And
I mean, the Pacers, they're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
Come on, this is great.
And who are they going up against?
Right.
Who do you think they want to see?
Well, I think they'd rather see the Celtics only because of Tatum, but careful what you wish for because I would say the Knicks.
Yeah.
Just because I still label Boston what they are.
The champion.
They're the
defending champions.
They're the defending champs, and they're still going to find a way to win.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with you, Lori. I'm about Denver.
About Denver.
Yep.
So we're going to shift to, what did we title the show?
What's in a draft?
What is in a draft? And you know I'm a huge fan of the NFL draft. Well, what the hell is going on with the NBA draft now?
Apparently some backroom agreements.
2019, when they implemented the new lottery system, I don't like it.
Yeah, no.
I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Womp, womp, womp. Not a fan.
Yeah.
So the Dallas Mavericks, who had mud on their face still from trading Luka in the worst trade that'll ever go down in NBA history that we see in our lifetime.
Yep.
1.8% chance.
Yep.
1.8?
Yep.
And they win the lottery.
To get Cooper.
To get Mr. Flag.
Yep.
To now save your franchise.
It's rigged.
And okay, so the teams that had the worst records, Charlotte Hornets, Washington Wizards, the top 3 teams are Dallas. I think they had a play-in game too. So you can call them a playoff team.
Yep.
San Antonio Spurs, who just got Wemby a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And the Philadelphia 76ers, who should have been in the playoffs, they just can't figure out their shit in Philly. So that's 1, 2, and 3?
Yep. It's insane.
I don't understand.
Joe doesn't like it either.
So what I was reading is the new lottery system, obviously implemented in 2019, that flattened the lottery odds. Previously, the 3 teams with the worst records had a 25% chance, 20%, and 14% chance, respectively, before the new system gave an even 14% chance to the 3 worst teams.
No.
And that is a less than ideal outcome that is happening. So the Mavs won with that 1.8. And the team with the worst regular season record fell to number 5.
That's insane. That's insane. How do you let that happen?
Number 5.
It's rigged.
I'm dumbfounded. I was dumbfounded when I saw that Dallas had won it. I'm dumbfounded.
Yeah. How do you let that happen?
San Antonio was picking second, and they weren't far from making the playoffs either. I'm beyond dumbfounded.
Yeah.
The Mavericks have not hid anything, which that never happens. You just don't say anything.
Yeah.
They've already said they're taking Cooper Flag. Well,
of course.
No shit.
Of course.
The intrigue I have is that Giannis is now deciding if he wants to stay in Milwaukee.
Yep.
He signed a contract extension. he really can't get out of it until year 3 of it. So why does he get to decide? He chose to sign that contract, said contract.
Yep.
So suck it up for 2 more years, Buttercup.
Yep. I agree.
So now it's like, oh, the San Antonio Spurs could put a nice package together, which they could.
Yeah.
With that number 2 pick, possibly the Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle, which would be stupid to trade him. But a plethora of picks to bring Giannis to team up with Wemby.
Oh my God.
That's the rumor out there.
Oh my gosh.
I'm confused. I'm just confused. And San Antonio's going to do something because I'm trying to figure out. I think Dylan Harper will be the number 2 pick no matter what. The only problem is he's great point guard out of Rutgers at 6'6", 215. San Antonio's got too many guards. So.
Yeah.
So something's got to shake out. Something's going to happen with San Antonio because they're right there.
Yep.
And Pop is making the calls. As team president. Something's going to happen with that number 2 pick. I don't know what, but I just feel for all the other teams. I really do.
Giannis and Wemby.
And we're going to talk next week about the draft a little bit more, but we're going to talk about how college teams, because they're now having the NBA combine where the measurables and everything. Ace Bailey, the small forward for Rutgers, stock is falling because of the combine. He was predicted to be the number 3 pick because it seems he shrunk. He's 6'10" and now he's 6'8". I'm so confused in these combine things, just these numbers just. So we're going to talk about that next week because there's a couple of players. There's Cedric Coward, who in the transfer portal, I think he went from Washington to Duke.
Okay.
And he's supposed to soften the blow of Cooper Flagg leaving Duke. Well, he is going through the combine measurables. He's going through the shooting. He's going through everything. And he is having such a good combine that they're projecting him to go in the top 20.
Oh, damn.
So now Duke's going, holy
Oh,
shit.
damn.
Because he now has to choose.
Does he go?
Where am I going to go?
Yeah.
Do I now?
Stock is
I
up.
could go in the top 20. My stock is up. I could go play for Duke. You could have an injury. You never know. So now Duke is holding their breath. Michigan is in the same. I can't think of the kid's name. We'll talk about it next week. That is at the combine as well, and he was in the transfer portal going to Michigan.
Okay.
And now he's like, oh, I'm doing really well at the combine.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be a top 25 pick. The thing that I don't like, and this is where I'm going to leave the NBA draft for now, is JT Toppin was all I'm going to the draft. I'm going to leave Texas Tech, Big 12 Player of the Year. But what Texas Tech did is they went out and offered him a huge NIL bag that he had to agree on.
Texas Tech is doing that a lot.
Before the draft process.
Ooh.
So they went out and said, this is now going to be the blueprint. They went out and said, through the NIL, we can offer you big time bucks to come get you back on campus at Texas Tech, but you got to sign here before the draft process.
Yeah.
So that will be the blueprint on how future players are handled. So another curveball into college basketball.
Yeah.
And we're going to offer you more money, whereas there used to be a time where you couldn't offer college players
any money.
any money.
Yep.
And I will drop the mic on that note and leave it.
Joe, we don't like the
there.
portal either.
The portal is just ridiculous. The portal is just ridiculous. So the last quarter of 4 quarters tonight, we're going to talk WNBA. The season
Let's go.
tips off
I'm so
tonight.
psyched.
The game I want to see, I'm going to let you know the 3 games that are on the docket. Atlanta at Washington, LA at Golden State, and Minnesota at Dallas, where Paige Beckers makes her
I'm so psyched for that.
professional debut. Tomorrow, the Las Vegas Aces are at the champion New York Liberty, Chicago Sky at the Indiana Fever, and Seattle at Phoenix. The game on Sunday that really has piqued my interest is the Minnesota Lynx going up against the LA Sparks, who I am predicting will be the most improved team this year in the W.
Yeah.
ESPN, percentage-wise, picking the Liberty to
No shock.
repeat.
The only negative that the Liberty have is they lost Benaja,
Yes.
which
Yes,
is a huge
indeed.
loss because she's a dog. But essentially, they have the same team.
Right. Essentially, they have the same team. Coming up 2 and 3, or actually tied for second percentage-wise by ESPN to win the title is the Fever and the Aces, followed by the Lynx.
I don't agree with any of that.
So with that being said, CB, I was reading an article that says with all the roster changes, what's the one change you're looking most forward to seeing? Mm-hmm. In this particular article, it's Jewel Lloyd to the Aces. I personally can't wait to watch Kelsey Plum with
for
the LA Sparks, which
Yep.
traded for.
Yep.
No, they weren't traded for each other.
It was
I take that
It
back
was a three-player trade
because it was a
team.
three-player trade. Thank you. Which one are you more interested in seeing for roster changes? And maybe it's not those two.
I think
They were high on Jewel Lloyd and her fit with the Aces.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she's that much different than Kelsey Plum.
I'm not sure she plays defense as good as Kelsey Plum.
No, because she's not a dog. And like when also Kelsey Plum is such a badass that when she goes up to the
she
free
is.
throw line, she smiles. She's laughing when she's going up, like game's on the line, and she's there smiling. And I was
It's
like,
true.
Yo, that's cold.
And it's
That's
not
cold.
a smile of, do you want to go grab a
No,
beverage
she's
after
cocky
the game?
as shit. She's like, I got this is done.
Yeah.
This is done.
Yeah.
Which
the dog in her is solid.
I'm just gonna miss. I'd rather have Kelsey Plum, and I get it. I get it. She wants her
Me
chance
too.
to be the star, but like, I'd rather have her over Jewel anytime because Jewel is just. Yeah. Anyways.
The one thing you will see for Kelsey Plum, though, is the ball in her hands more
Yes.
than with the Aces.
Yes, because you have
had
fewer.
Gray.
Yeah.
You know, you
And
did. there
Jackie
was-
Young.
And Jackie Young.
Yeah.
So you will definitely see, they call her in here fiercely competitive,
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey Plum. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
The dog in her is just amazing.
Is real.
I'm worried
pit bull.
about the Aces with Jewel Lloyd. And
They still don't have a bench.
they still don't have a bench. Kittredge is the one who had to redshirt last year. Kitley, excuse me.
Yeah.
Out of Virginia Tech.
Yep,
She's the one I'm interested to see.
Me too.
Give big minutes.
Yep.
Remove from that ACL.
Yep. Help Asia out a little bit.
I think their bench got thinner than it was last year, and
Yeah.
last year was their Achilles heel.
Yeah, it's gonna be real bad. I am worried because, what's her name? The other, what's her name? She plays
What team?
Aces. She doesn't shoot for shit, but she plays.
Gustafson, not her.
No, she's injured. The other one.
Oh. Because Gustafson drives me insane when she's out there. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
The other big?
Yeah.
Ah.
You know, I can see her
Yeah,
face.
I can see her face too. Yeah, but I'm coming up blank. Big
But
time.
like, it's like it's tough because last year she was coming off a big injury. She played horrible defense, which was her one strong point the year before.
Right.
Like she's just super fucking long. Oh, that's $2.
Jeez, we
and
got almost $10.
Kia Stokes.
Stokes, good one. Thank you for
Thanks,
coming
Jen.
up.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you, Jen. Yeah.
But so hopefully she'll get back her defense. But she's absolutely useless on the offensive side, and people know that.
Yep.
And so it's just like you're at a disadvantage. Anyways, so I'm really excited for Kitley, too.
Other roster moves that I'm intrigued by. Brittany Griner, fine, get her
Eh.
out of Phoenix. Alyssa Thomas leading the way for Phoenix this year. That one intrigues me a little bit. I like
she'll
Alyssa
be-
Thomas's game,
Yeah.
and she's a great leader, and she can ball it, but she has no outside shot to speak of.
Nope.
So I'm really hoping Phoenix does what Connecticut didn't do and make her a post player.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Connecticut a lot of the times had the ball in her hands because that was their best player.
Right.
But
She'll be playing with Copper.
yeah, and I love Copper's
Me
game.
too.
So put Thomas in the post.
Yeah. Easy. Yeah.
And I think Phoenix could be more fun to watch. I'm going to miss DT. I'm
yeah,
going
of
to
course,
just
of
miss
course.
number 3 not being on that floor. But Sabali is the other one.
Oh, yes.
She's on Phoenix as well.
Yes.
So that was my big
The
three.
other one, not Satu.
Satu?
No, Satu's on. Isn't Satu on the Liberty?
Nope.
No, that's the other one. Niali.
No, she's
Satu's
on
Phoenix.
the Mercury with Copper.
Okay,
Kalia
yep.
Copper.
Okay.
So that's a really intriguing big
Yep.
three for me. I think Phoenix is going to be a lot more fun to watch, other than I'm going to miss Diana Taurasi.
Yep.
Brittany Griner's not going to be clogging the paint.
Yep.
So that's going to be a fun team.
So two teams that I'm stoked for, and I'm glad that Wheels isn't here, is the Sky.
Yeah.
Because I think Cardoso's ceiling is so fucking high, and I'll pay that $2 because it's Cardoso.
Yep.
Her
We'll just
ceiling,
charge you one for that because
her
she's
ceiling
deserving.
is so high.
Yep, I agree.
And she
I agree.
finally has a point guard to feed her the ball properly.
Yep.
Not only that, but they actually have 3-point shooters this year. So and then they have a new I like Teaspoon, but I'm really excited. You have the Becky Hammond coaching tree starting out, so I'm really excited to see the Chicago Sky. I think they're gonna. They're not gonna make a run this year, but they're gonna be much improved.
We're going to get deeper into this article because you're going to be surprised at how many people put them in the playoffs.
Oh, I see them making the playoffs.
Okay.
I just
Okay,
don't.
you do.
I just
Okay.
don't see them winning the championship.
Okay.
The other team that I'm super I don't know if anyone's talking about them, but Seattle.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I like their coach.
It's the best front court. It's got to be the best front court. You have
that's a great.
You have NECA. You have Malanga. Is it Malanga? The rookie.
The rookie.
And then you have Ezzy, and you have Lee Yuru. That's the best.
That is
front
the best front
court.
Well
they
said,
have,
CV.
They
Well
have,
said.
They have zero backcourt. They
Right.
have zero backcourt.
Right.
But their front court is, oh man, is so good.
That's a good point because they weren't even mentioned in this article. So kudos to you.
Yeah.
They do talk again about the Indiana Fever.
Yep.
Dewana Bonner. I did see an interview with her. She was humble. She always is when she's being interviewed. And then she
gets on the court.
She's as fiery as they come as well. You
Yeah.
can put her in that plum dog mentality. A lot of talent.
Yeah.
She said there's so much talent
Yeah.
around me.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Yeah.
She's already played for Coach White in Connecticut. I do think, I don't know if Wheels was real excited about Bonner landing there, but I think that's a good veteran to have there. I really do. And you got Sophie
agree.
Cunningham was another one.
I think they needed
And Natasha Howard.
I love Natasha Howard.
So I like the moves Indiana
I'm
made.
so stoked for Natasha Howard. I think that her and Bonner just bring so much playoff experience.
Yeah.
I think they went from 13 years of playoff experience last year to over 200 this year or something like that.
Wow.
But I think players like Dewana Bonner and Sophie Cunningham, they needed those fiery.
Sophie Cunningham's a dog too.
Yeah. On defense, her and Lexi Hall are going to be fun to watch on defense.
Lexi Hall. We haven't even talked about Lexi Hall.
And they're friggin' twins.
Yes, they are.
But I think as far as I think they're going to be good. I'll be interested to see how they play because Stephanie White has talked about playing Caitlin off the ball more.
Yep. Which I don't mind that.
No. And they picked up Sydney
you got
Colson.
Mitchell coming back too.
Which, Mitchell coming back was huge. I love Sydney Colson because she's just hilarious.
Yeah. She is hilarious. She is funny.
We'll see how many minutes she gets, but I have a feeling. So here's my prediction for Caitlin Clark. This is for you, Wheels. Points per game gonna go down. Assists per game going up.
Yep. Or vice versa if she's off the ball. She's gonna shoot more.
I don't know. She's got more. They have more.
Speaking of shooting, did you see Inescu playing over? They played on her college court over in Oregon. Did you see her shots from the logo?
No.
Sick.
Really?
She made 3 from the logo. I don't know why it just popped into my head because when I think of Caitlin Clark, it's a lot of logo shooting as well.
So hopefully her thumb is because she played dog shit in Unrivaled, and everyone was talking.
Oh, Inescu?
Yeah, and I think she was coming back from that thumb surgery at the end of the season. So
and Stewie had the injury too
to her knee.
Yeah, hers
was a knee. Yeah, so I'm super stoked to kind of see. Hopefully her shot's back.
The other part of the article was what was the biggest surprise from Thursday's final rosters?
I felt so bad.
The Golden State Valkyries, 3 draftees are not
Yeah.
on their final roster.
Yep.
What the
Out
F?
of all of the teams.
The 5th overall pick, Justy, she is remaining in Europe.
Yeah.
And that's always...
They did
That's a chance.
They did draft a lot of international players.
But they waived 17th overall pick Cheyenne Sellers.
Oh yeah, I'm super disappointed in that.
That one really bummed me out.
I hope someone else. You know what? And this is a big discussion of the talent coming out of college now is just so high, and the roster spots are not increasing. It sucks that you can't keep on these rookies to help them develop.
Right.
You can only have 12.
Right.
So hopefully with the new CBA and the 2 expansion teams, more of these.
Am I
players will
too
get a shot
locked
next year.
into the expansion team Golden State and saying, how could you get rid of a kid you drafted?
I know.
In Sellers? I mean,
Sellers?
I'm looking at Sellers and going, and she got picked up. Can't remember who picked her
Oh,
up.
she
but
did? Oh,
I
good.
think she got picked up. Their 29th pick, Caitlin Chen, was another one.
Sellers got waived by the Golden State and Atlanta. Oh, is she she's the one they're like questioning her how good her knees are, right?
Is that Chen or Sellers?
Sellers.
Oh,
I'm shocked that Chen got cut.
me too. I want to talk about Chen.
Because she was a man.
Threw out the first pitch at the San Francisco Giants game the other night, and her jersey sales were up there, and I'm like, come on.
Yep.
Just have her the last on your roster.
Right.
I don't know. Diamond DeShields, Haley Jones, and Grace Berger, who Grace Berger was one of my favorite college players, all got cut
I'm sad.
as well.
I'm sad about Diamond and Berger.
So basically, they're going to be waiting for a call,
Yeah.
and it's the injury bug that
Yep.
hits a team that
Yeah.
sitting by your cell phone. Yeah. Grace Berger wasn't playing much for the Fever.
No, she
And
was.
I
I
was
mean, she had no shot.
Yeah, and she was so fun to watch at Indiana. And sometimes college players, that's when they shine the most, is in college.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you take your whiteboard out now, because the rest of the article we got to chat about talks about, the awards part of it.
Ooh.
And the playoff
Already?
part of it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I'll tell you who CBS picked as well. Preseason predictions. Who is your pick for MVP? Do you want me to name some players, or do you just want to pick it on your own?
No. Jen says Sarah Ashley Barker made the LA roster. Like that a lot.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
my God,
I'm
Jen,
psyched
thank
about
you.
that. Oh, shit.
Thank
That's
you
nice.
for that.
Oh, that's a great
Speaking
pick.
of dogs, she's a
That's
dog.
a great pick. That's a great pick. All right.
MVP, Collier, Wilson,
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, or somebody else.
Joe
And
says
the
I'm trying to
article
keep
does say that
I think people are going to get voter fatigue for Asia unless she comes out with another 1,000-point season, which is totally.
well, they did say
Not
in the
surprised.
article that it's not fair because of the bar that Asia Wilson has already set.
Yep.
And her coach, Coach Hammond, both thought she should have got Defensive Player of the Year as well. So now Asia Wilson has a chip on her shoulder because she didn't get that. And I don't want to get in her way because she's a stud.
Yep.
But she has raised the bar pretty high.
She does. I mean, the first 1,000-point season. Who do I think is going to be MVP?
And as we talk about, gosh, I don't have a list going here.
Joe, really? Stewart? I don't know. I think Stewart's a choke.
As you're thinking about that, it's Rookie of the Year is next.
I don't want to choose Paige, but is it going to be Paige?
Now I'm drawing a blank
Because-
on who I want. Oh, I know who I want.
Oh, me too.
I know who I want. We're challenging ourselves because I'm not giving a list.
I'm not picking Paige. I'm not picking Paige.
Um,
That's too
the
predictable.
Next one is Defensive Player of the Year.
Shit.
And it does have Brianna Stewart in there, Asia Wilson in there, Collier in there, or somebody you may want to go with. And I think we'll do the last one here. Yep. Okay. And I'm going to give you 3 players. Oh God, I can't pronounce her name. Washington Mystics, Emily Engsler, yeah. Engsler, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay. She's up for most improved player. Engsler, Cardoso, or Kate Martin.
Ooh, so what do you think about second-year players getting most improved? I think that's a little cop-out.
It kind of is because, well,
You don't.
because you're supposed to be going up.
You're supposed to be
you're
going
only
up
in year 2.
But like, I think
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I don't like choosing second-year players, but I think Cardoso is just going to go out of her mind. So I'm gonna go with Cardoso. But I'm not a fan. I think it deserves
And it could be none of the 3 we just said.
Oh wait,
and you can go with somebody else.
Ooh. Oh, but see, she's more of a comeback than an improved.
Who's that?
Chelsea Gray. I think she's going to go out of her mind this year.
Well, that's a good one too.
But she's more of a comeback.
That's
she's
a
more
good
of a
one.
comeback.
I'm going to read you which team will meet in the WNBA finals, which team will win the title. Okay. So in this article, the 8 teams that make the playoffs, it's pretty much the same theme. Dallas, and it's so funny because Dallas went from having the number 1 pick to in the playoffs with Paige Beckers. Dallas, Indiana, Las Vegas, Minnesota, New York, Phoenix, and Seattle. The 8th team that fluctuates is Atlanta or Chicago.
Ooh, I love Atlanta.
So,
but I really like, that's so tough.
Yeah.
Because, man, I love me some Alicia Gray. And Ryan Howard, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. On Atlanta?
Yeah.
I love Ryan Howard.
Me too.
You talk about somebody who's improved.
Yep.
I want to say she's in her 4th year coming up.
I think so.
But watching her at Kentucky in college, I was like, And she has just elevated her game. I'm glad you said her name.
Love them. But man, I think I'm so high, and good thing Wheels isn't here. I'm pretty high on the freaking Scott.
Chicago?
Because of freaking Cardoso.
And with that being said, I read the 8 teams, and the only differential was Atlanta and Chicago. These cast of writers was picking which 4 teams will reach the WNBA semifinals. And they're all pretty much in line.
Minnesota,
so Indiana,
New
Las
York.
Vegas, Minnesota, New York.
Yeah.
So, who wins it?
My heart or my head?
I'm going to go with my heart.
Me too.
Champs.
Because but I get why, how do you spell that? Okay. I get why people are.
So New York and Indiana would have to play in the semis.
Yep.
I mean, in the semis. And
boy.
Minnesota and Vegas.
Yep. I think Minnesota can take Vegas.
Okay.
Because
I'm going to write who I think is going to win and who I think they're going to play.
Minnesota did. Okay. I think it's good. Is it going to be your rematch? Okay.
And because we didn't talk football, I have to throw a football question in there. But I can't remember. What did I do? Oh, it's over here. I have, again, too many notes. We're going to throw a couple of... God, we didn't even talk hockey, and we're out of time.
I watch hockey games for you.
Who'd you watch?
I've watched... I think one game for all. I might have fallen asleep during a couple, but I did watch last night. I did watch Washington versus Carolina.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Carolina tough.
Oh man,
Washington was all built on Ovechkin and breaking the record. Carolina is tough. My heart is with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I've watched them. They're down 3-2, right?
They were up 2-0,
and now they're
lost 3 games in a row to the defending champs.
Yep.
And as much as I want Toronto to win, I said they need to not play soft.
Yep.
And I watched them play one game where they weren't soft, and now I've watched them soften out for 3 games.
Yep.
I hope that it is Florida and Carolina in the Eastern Conference Final,
Yeah.
because you're going to talk about two teams that are just going to haul out black and blue one another.
Yep.
I pick it to go 7 games. I will not miss a game if it's Carolina and the defending
Florida.
champs. Those two teams are so tough. On the Western side, Edmonton already in.
Yep.
Last year's Stanley Cup was Edmonton and Florida.
Okay.
Edmonton's already in the Western Conference Final. Winnipeg is, they're on their last. The gas tank's almost empty.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if Dallas didn't take that one. Winnipeg won last night to keep it going, but
Yeah.
Dallas is up 3-2.
Yep.
My prediction is, Dallas out of the West.
Okay.
Which I could be wrong because they may not even, they got to
Yeah.
still beat Winnipeg. But I don't know, Carolina and Florida.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I digress bad on that one. See, I get all excited over hockey.
Oh my.
If you were to draft a quarterback in round 1 of fantasy football, which I don't, a lot of people do with teams, who would you draft?
Oh shit.
Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen,
Oh come on.
Jaden Daniels, or Joe Burrow?
Oh, come on. Come on.
Had to get one football question in here.
Just because I don't play fantasy football.
Oh my God, I can't even answer, and I play fantasy. Oh, dang.
I'm here for vibes. Joe says Carolina and Dallas.
Yeah, I'm leaning with Carolina, but again, it's that defending champ. But again, Florida's still got to knock out Toronto.
think Joe's a
Carolina's
Liberty fan.
for real. Huh?
Joe, are you a Liberty fan?
Oh no.
He's just choosing Stewart.
Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart,
And
Page,
SQ?
Stewart, Cardoso,
Man, I can't pick
and then
my
New
own
York.
question.
Here for the vibes.
Man, that is hard. All right.
It's so hard. You chose it.
I know. All right. Gah. All right.
I'm gonna tell you, I went with my heart on most of these, not on my head.
St. Christopher, my goodness. I had more fantasy questions, but we're already in overtime.
Yep.
All right. First question was MVP. Who are we predicting for MVP
I wasn't very
of the WNBA season?
I wasn't very creative with these choices.
I went with Collier.
Me too, my girl,
Yep.
girl.
I mean, you want to talk about chip on the shoulder?
Dude, they should have won. They still should have won.
I can't turn my board around because it has all my answers. So we're both in agreement with Collier.
Joe says Josh Allen. Yes, I'm a Liberty fan.
I know, that was Rookie of the Year. In the article, you're not going to be shocked by this. In the article, it was only one player.
Page.
Page. And it's 5 writers.
Yeah.
All picked Paige Beckers.
I went with Malonga.
Did you go with Malonga?
I went with Malonga.
I went with Citron.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I'm going to give her a little ding ding.
She's had really good games.
The problem is she's not flashy, so people don't give her the prop she deserves.
Who are they playing?
I like Malonga. That's a good one.
They were playing the Fever, and Sophie Cunningham got thrown down. I forgot by who, and Citron's face was just like, oh shit.
What did I get myself into?
And Sophie Cunningham went immediately up. Was like, let's fight.
That's hilarious.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, I wanted to go different. Do I think Beckers is going to win it?
Yep. Malonga's gonna dunk. That's my prediction. She's gonna dunk.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be so cool?
She's gonna dunk.
And she does it effortless.
Hopefully she's gonna dunk on Rakia.
Oh my God.
Because Rakia did a tweet prayers up, she better hopefully she doesn't I'm not the one. I'm not the one that she dunks on.
You did a good job giving Seattle some props here because through this whole article, Seattle's not mentioned. Yeah. Good job, CD. Good job. Defensive Player of the Year. I went with Asia Wilson.
Me too.
Just because she's ticked off.
Me too. And
I mean, you don't want to tick her off.
No, and she is a beast, man.
CBS, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart.
That's who Joe went with.
Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
Most improved. Most improved. I went with Cardoso.
Me too.
And I think with Cardoso, I think she's going to play with a little bit more edge.
Yes.
Sometimes she's too nice.
She is.
She's got to put that little,
hilarious.
and I think Angel Reese maybe rubbed off on her a little bit because we know she plays with an edge.
And let's not forget, Haley Van Lith is on that team.
She could be the rookie of the year.
She's a solid guard.
Cardoso was picked by 4. Kate Martin was in there as well, which I would love nothing more than to see Kate Martin get most improved. But then you talk about, is that fair in your second year? Because we're talking about second-year players here. And poor Kate Martin didn't get a ton of playing time because she was with the Aces. But I would be tickled if Kate Martin
Me too.
got it as well. Championship. Who are we picking as the champs? So Joe picked the Liberty.
Yep.
Back to back.
Yep.
Okay. I am picking the Indiana Fever and the Minnesota Lynx in the final.
Oh, nice.
In the final.
Nice.
And I'm picking the Lynx.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm picking the Lynx too to win it. I'm worried because a lot of people are just saying that, oh my gosh, and I'm going to blank on their names. Carlton and Courtney Williams just played way overachieved. And they're worried that they're going to come down to earth a little bit. I love Courtney Williams.
Courtney Williams is I'm going to make my all-dog team for next week.
Her mid-range is just butter, man.
She's on my all-dog team.
I love Courtney Williams. And Carlton, when she's on, is a threat from 3.
Exactly. And yes, she's a shooter.
Yeah.
And she's going to have bad shooting nights. But she's also going to have nights where she can't miss as well. And McBride.
Yeah, McBride.
That's my unsung player.
Me too.
But that's my other dog.
What I'm worried about is McBride hasn't been practicing or playing in preseason for personal reasons. So
that I didn't know.
Yep. So I'm thinking she's just burnt out. She did Unrivaled. She's been playing overseas for like nonstop. I'm wondering is she burnt out and good for her to rest up.
If something happens there,
if she's not back,
then I may not pick the Lynx.
Right.
And I'm being honest.
Me too.
She's that important to that valuable to that team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that little nugget, because we're gonna have to keep an eye out on that. If you were to take a quarterback in fantasy football in round 1, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow.
I'm here for the vibes. Jaden Daniels.
You know, I was literally writing Daniels down, and I went with Lamar Jackson.
I mean, yes.
But how can you go wrong with any of them?
Yep.
The thing with Daniels, Allen, and Jackson, they're runners.
They're all runners.
So that's a lot of points.
Yep.
Joe Burrow, not a runner.
But he just
But in our
it,
league,
man.
he still puts
just
30 or 40
slings it.
points up because
Yep.
he throws for 300 to 400 yards.
Yep.
And you can look at this and go, Lamar Jackson was not the type of quarterback that was throwing for 300 yards.
Yep.
He has elevated his game, especially last year. Josh Allen's just a tank that's going to go into the end zone, 15 TDs running a season.
Yep.
I'm excited to see Jaden Daniels this year.
Yep.
I'm excited to see this young kid who lit it up in his rookie year, what he's going to do with that team that was one step away from the Super Bowl. I mean, come on.
So fun. So fun.
So we went into double overtime, I think, tonight. We started late, and now we're going late. And poor CB just needs to get home and have dinner. College softball.
Yep.
I was watching it already.
Nice. The Subway Series.
The Subway Series is this weekend. Who are you picking?
Oh, man.
I'm picking the Yankees 2-1.
Just because of, I think Rodon is pitching tonight, and I think what's-his-face pitching Sunday.
I don't think Senga's pitching for the Mets in this series,
but
I have to double check.
The Yankees pitcher.
Oh, well, I was all about Senga.
Who's lights out? Oh, my gosh.
The kid from the Braves that they signed.
I'm blanking.
The same one?
I'm blanking.
Yep. Jen will tell us. Yep.
I think if I did the math right, I think he's pitching on Sunday.
If he's pitching on Sunday, then
so if we have Rodon and him pitching, then
I want to know what the decibel level hits
for when
Soto gets up in
Yep.
his first at bat.
and he said he took a day off yesterday.
Soto did?
Yeah, for a mental health day. He said to prep for the game. He's like, I'm ready. They're gonna bring it, and I deserve it.
I will say this about softball as well, because we got a fun 2 weeks of softball. Well, we got a lot of weeks left of softball. All season long, we talked about Texas and Oklahoma. And Texas, and they both deserve their props. But I see you, Texas A&M, who is the #1 seed. Oklahoma, the #2 seed.
Oh, damn.
And I see you, Texas Tech. I don't care that you're the #12 seed. Najee Kennedy is the pitcher on that team. I will never count them out. And the other team, I see you, and I wasn't giving you props, is Arkansas.
Nice.
With their 40-12 record, they are the #4 seed. Florida State, I don't know why, but I always gravitate towards you. But with Arkansas, Courtney Day and Bree Ellis, I'm going to enjoy watching these two young ladies play. Just to give you stats, because I like numbers.
Yeah.
Ellis, 26 home runs and 72 RBIs.
Shit.
Right? Holy shit.
Damn.
So enjoy the weekend. We've got the W. I am going to throw this out there. I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
The PGA Golf Championship is this weekend too.
Oh, shit. There's so much on. There's so much
I
on.
was waiting for you to look at me and go, I'm not going to watch it.
There's so much on.
Softball's on, NBA, NHL.
Well, it's going to be rainy. It's going to be
and
rainy.
there it is. My next sentence
So-
was, who knows what the weather's going to hold.
Yeah. So,
We shifted to Friday this week because we had Women's League on Wednesday. I think we will be back on Wednesday next week. So everybody have a great weekend. Watch all sports all day, all the freaking time.
hell
We'll
yeah.
see you next Wednesday.
Bye.